The motorcycle. It's a symbol of freedom, rebellion, and a deep, visceral connection to the open road. For couples, it can be the ultimate expression of shared adventure, a two-wheeled escape from the mundane. But the same machine that offers unparalleled thrills also demands unparalleled respect. It's a delicate balance of physics, skill, and judgment, and when that balance is upset by a single dumb decision, the consequences are swift, brutal, and final. Today, we're exploring the stories of couples who shared a final, fatal ride. These aren't just tales of tragic accidents. They are cautionary tales of overconfidence, negligence, and mind-boggling stupidity. From a couple taken out by a vulture to another filming an Instagram reel in live traffic, these are the stories of people who turned a romantic getaway into a one-way trip to the morgue. This is the dumbest couple motorcycle deaths ever recorded. Case 1. The last leg of the tour. Our journey begins in September 2012, high in the Austrian Alps. A British couple, including a 38-year-old mother of 4, were on the final leg of an epic European motorcycle tour. They had been on the road for weeks, covering thousands of miles, a testament to their shared passion for riding. But on this day, the idyllic adventure was about to come to a horrific end. The weather in the mountains was unpredictable, the roads were winding and treacherous, and their motorcycle was heavily laden with luggage. They were experienced riders, but experience can sometimes breed a dangerous sense of complacency. In a sharp, winding section of the road, the driver lost control. Whether it was a moment of distraction, a patch of wet asphalt, or simply a case of pushing the bike beyond its limits, we'll never know for sure. The motorcycle crashed, and the impact was catastrophic. The woman, a mother who had 4 children waiting for her back in the UK, was killed. Her partner survived. It's a tragic story of get-there-itis, the dangerous mindset that pushes riders to continue on, even when conditions are telling them to stop. They had come so far and were so close to the end of their journey, but their refusal to respect the mountain's warnings cost them everything. Case 2. The Winged Assassin. On April 20th, 2019, a 42-year-old man and his 40-year-old wife from Wichita Falls, Texas, were out for a ride on a clear, sunny day. They were on a rural highway near the town of Vernon, a classic American landscape of wide-open spaces. The driver was not wearing a helmet, a legal but ultimately fatal choice in the state of Texas. As they were cruising along, a large vulture, likely feeding on roadkill, took flight from the side of the road. It flew directly into their path. The bird, which can weigh up to 5 pounds with a wingspan of nearly 6 feet, struck the driver squarely in the head. The impact was like being hit with a feathered cannonball. He was killed instantly, his body slumping over the handlebars. The motorcycle, now without a driver, veered off the road and crashed. The woman was thrown from the bike and suffered critical injuries. She was rushed to the hospital, but died shortly after. It was a freak accident, but one that was made infinitely more deadly by a single, dumb decision: to ride without a helmet. In a state full of large birds and other unpredictable wildlife, a helmet isn't just a piece of safety gear. It's the only thing standing between you and a 1-in-a-million tragedy. Case 3. The Holiday High. In July 2021, Bradley and Michelle Wright, a couple from Bradford, UK, were on a motorcycle vacation in the scenic countryside of Northumberland. They were with a group of friends, enjoying the freedom of the open road, doing what they loved, as their friends would later say. But the beautiful, winding roads of Northumberland are also notoriously dangerous, a popular spot for tourists who often underestimate their complexity. On a narrow, rural road near the village of Simonburn, their vacation came to a sudden, violent end. They were involved in a head-on collision with a car. The exact details of the crash are unclear, But the police report pointed to the usual suspects: excessive speed on an unfamiliar road and a moment of misjudgment on a blind corner. Both Bradley and Michelle were killed. It's a story that plays out all too often on scenic tourist routes: the feeling of being on vacation, the adrenaline of the ride, the presence of friends. It all combines to create a dangerous sense of overconfidence. You push it just a little bit harder, you take a corner just a little bit faster, and you forget that you're not on your home turf. For Bradley and Michelle Wright, that holiday high had a devastatingly low price. Case 4. The group ride gone wrong. In May 2023, on the border highway in El Paso, Texas, a group of 3 friends were out for a ride. One of the motorcycles was carrying a couple, a man and a 29-year-old woman. They were riding fast, enjoying the thrill of the group ride, the feeling of being part of a pack. But group rides can be deceptive. They can create a false sense of security and a dangerous sense of competition. According to police, the motorcycle carrying the couple was traveling at a high rate of speed when it entered a curve. The driver lost control, and the bike slammed into a concrete barrier and a light pole. The couple was thrown from the motorcycle, their bodies hitting the pavement with lethal force. They both died at the scene. The third rider, who was riding behind them, was also involved in the crash but survived with injuries. This is a classic example of a group ride turning tragic. The dynamics of the group, the pressure to keep up, the temptation to show off, can lead to reckless decisions. You're no longer just responsible for yourself. You're responsible for the person on the back of your bike and for the other riders around you. This couple paid the ultimate price for forgetting that simple, crucial fact. 4 stories of couples whose shared passion led to a shared demise. But in all these cases, the fatal mistake was made in the heat of the moment. After the break, we're looking at the stories where the dumbest decision was made long before the engine was even started. From a pregnant mother on the back of a bike to a couple filming stunts for Instagram. These are the stories of crashes that were destined to happen. Case 5. The experience trap. In September 2023, a British couple, both in their 60s, were on a motorcycle holiday in the sunny region of Murcia, Spain. They were, by all accounts, experienced riders. They had been riding for decades, and this was just another one of their many adventures. But experience can be a trap. It can lead to a dangerous belief that you've seen it all, that you're immune to the risks that plague less experienced riders. They were riding on a busy Spanish highway, their bike loaded with luggage, sharing the road with a chaotic mix of local traffic and long-haul trucks. Under these stressful conditions, something went wrong. The motorcycle lost balance, and the couple was thrown onto the roadway, directly into the path of other vehicles. They were both killed in what the Spanish press described as a horror crash. Their friends were shocked, describing them as safe, experienced riders. But their experience in the UK didn't prepare them for the unique challenges of a Spanish highway. The heat, the different driving styles, the stress of navigating an unfamiliar environment, it all adds up. This couple fell into the experience trap, believing that their years of riding had made them invincible. They were wrong. Case 6. The tourist trap. Isolde and Otto Nägele, a German couple in their 50s, were on their dream motorcycle vacation in Ireland. They were exploring the famous Wild Atlantic Way, a route known for its stunning beauty and its treacherous, narrow roads. They were tourists in an unfamiliar land, on roads that are notoriously difficult even for locals. On the N59 near Ballina, County Mayo, their dream vacation turned into a nightmare. They were involved in a collision with another vehicle. The exact cause is unknown, but local police pointed to a familiar pattern. Foreign tourists on powerful motorcycles, treating the narrow, winding, often wet Irish B-roads like the smooth, wide autobahns of their home country. Both Isolde and Otto were killed. Their deaths became a local talking point, a tragic example of the dangers of motorcycle tourism. They were victims of the tourist trap, the mistaken belief that a scenic road is a safe road. They had the right bike, the right gear, but the wrong mindset for the environment they were in. They were riding in Ireland, but their heads were still on the Autobahn. Case 7. The Unborn Passenger. This next story, from the Cleveland area, is one of the most tragically stupid on our list. A young pregnant woman was riding as a passenger on the back of her husband's motorcycle. They already had a 2-year-old child at home, and another on the way. The decision to get on that motorcycle, in her condition, was a gamble with not 1, but 2 lives. And it was a gamble they lost. They were involved in a crash, and the woman was thrown from the bike. Her injuries were catastrophic. Emergency services were unable to save her or her unborn child. She died, leaving behind a grieving husband and a toddler who would grow up without a mother. The local media described it as a tragic crash, but it was more than that. It was a tragedy born from a moment of profound, almost unbelievable stupidity. To put a pregnant woman on the back of a motorcycle is to ignore the most basic, fundamental instinct to protect your family. It's a decision so reckless, so selfish, that it defies all rational explanation. This man didn't just lose his wife and his unborn child. He lost them because of a choice that should never have been made. Case 8. The Domino Effect. On the night of October 5, 2025, on a busy boulevard in Ridley Township, Pennsylvania, a group of friends were out for a fun ride. 26-year-old William Getty was driving one bike, with 28-year-old Katrina Pinnell on the back. A friend was riding on another bike nearby. None of them were wearing helmets. They were riding too fast, too close together, a mini-pack of 2 bikes tearing through the night. On McDade Boulevard, their fun ride came to a catastrophic end. The 2 motorcycles clipped each other, a moment of misjudgment that had a domino effect. William and Katrina were thrown from their bike, their unprotected heads hitting the pavement with lethal force. They both died. Their friend, the other rider, survived with serious leg injuries. This is a story of collective stupidity. It's not just one person making a bad decision. It's a group dynamic where recklessness is encouraged and safety is seen as an afterthought. No helmets, riding too close at night. It was a trifecta of dumb decisions that left 2 people dead and another permanently injured. They went out for a fun ride, but they never came home. Case 9. The Final Reel. Our final story, from a highway in India in late 2025, is a perfect, tragic encapsulation of our modern era. A young couple, in their 20s, were on a sport motorcycle, creating content for an Instagram reel. A friend was riding alongside, filming their every move. The scene was set for the perfect viral video. The man was driving, trying to look cool and confident. The woman was sitting sideways on the back, her body pressed against his, a romantic, carefree pose. Neither of them was wearing a helmet. They were performing for the camera, using the live highway as their film set, and their own lives as props. At high speed, the driver started doing stunts, weaving through traffic, showing off for his audience of 1. And then, he lost control. The bike went down, and the couple was thrown onto the asphalt, sliding for tens of meters as other cars and trucks swerved to avoid them. According to eyewitness reports, at least one of them was killed. Their final romantic video became a viral snuff film, a horrifying warning about the deadly consequences of chasing online clout. They died for a few seconds of content, a final, fatal performance in the theater of social media. 9 couples, 9 motorcycles, 9 stories of love adventure, and profound stupidity. From a simple failure to wear a helmet to the mind-boggling recklessness of filming stunts in live traffic, these stories all share a common thread: a complete and utter disrespect for the machine and the road. A motorcycle doesn't forgive. It doesn't care if you're on vacation, if you're in love, or if you're trying to become famous. These couples weren't just victims of a tragic accident. They were victims of their own dumb decisions. They chose to ride without helmets, to speed on unfamiliar roads, to put their pregnant partners at risk, to prioritize a photo over their own lives. And in doing so, they turned their shared passion into a shared tombstone. Which of these stories did you find the most tragically dumb? Let us know in the comments below. And if you appreciate our deep dives into these cautionary tales, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Final Moments. Until next time, ride safe, and remember that the most important part of any ride is the one that gets you home.